Let's go Knights! Hi, and welcome to Knight Spotlight. I'm Lane Glenn, President of Northern Essex Community College here in the Merrimack Valley of Massachusetts. We are very fortunate here at NECC because we have some amazingly dedicated, talented faculty and staff all around us on campus, teaching, researching, preparing students for careers in a world that is constantly changing. Every single one of them has something important and interesting to share, and today we have with us computer science professor Devan Walton. When I think of Professor Walton, Devan, can I call you Devan?
Absolutely.
When I think of Devan, I think of the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. You didn't know I was going to say that. Because Devan he's like everything everywhere all at once. He's involved in a bunch of cool stuff. Besides teaching, he offers workshops for students and employees on cool subjects like AI, friend or foe. He's involved in our Open Educational Resources, or OER initiative, which provides free or reduced cost textbooks for students. And he's authored a couple of books. One of those is The ABCs of ChatGPT. Sounds like a book I could use myself. Another one is Culturally Responsive Computing.
Right.
And it goes on and on and on, but we only have like 10 minutes for this thing, so I want to get to the questions. Devan, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate that you came wearing all of your NECC garb.
Stuff,
That's really cool. Evan, when I think of what you do,
yes,
it amazes me.
Appreciate that.
Makes me curious. Kind of scares me.
Right.
Let's start with something really basic.
Right.
How did you find your way into a career in computer science in the first place?
Right. So it was kind of a strange path. I actually started off wanting to be a doctor. Oh. I started off in biology. That was my big focus. Eventually, I got involved in some biological research that involved computers. We had to use research to do some genetic research, and doing the calculations by hand kind of complicated. So the computer just sped up the process a little bit. And getting involved in computers to do that research and like make potentially meaningful strides in healthcare was really what got me interested in like these computers are kind of interesting.
Where were you doing this?
This was at RIT. This was way out in New York.
Yeah.
Eventually, I ended up doing more work in computers. I ended up doing an education degree over at Boston College. And that's kind of where I got pulled into thinking about learning design, thinking about education that's more inclusive than what it has traditionally been. When I was going through my degree in computer science is not known as a highly inclusive field, right? And I was just curious about the ways that we could make it like more inclusive and more accessible to just a wider variety of people and students, because as we're seeing now with AI is really changing the world. And right now, computer science has been kind of it's kind of been monolithic in the way, the type of people who have been involved in it. So I've been just like really interested in the ways that we can. As
a way to change the world. I love that. That's fantastic. That's why a lot of people get into education.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So, let's pick up on what you just said about AI. Last October.
Yes.
A year ago.
Yes.
Which is like, I don't know, 10 years in artificial intelligence life.
Right.
The NECC Observer did an interview with you. And the headline was, AI, friend or foe, ?
Yes.
It's a year later. How would you answer that question today?
I think I would unfortunately probably give the same watered down answer I gave last year. Is there are unique affordances that AI can provide us for helping us do our work, solve day-to-day problems. And there's also some ways that AI raises new challenges for us. Interacting with students, I'm sure most faculty and staff, the way that we interact with students has changed now that students have more access to these AI tools. So I feel like in a lot of ways, the relationship between how we interact with students, especially in an asynchronous context, is changing a lot. Like usually when I would have discussion board questions, and we would have we could usually trust that what a student was saying on the discussion board was what they felt, right?
Why not?
What they would. But now that's not necessarily the case. And it's really, it's makes it feel like things are changing a lot faster.
That's interesting the way you just said that, is what they felt.
Right.
You didn't say, is the information, is the answer, the objective fact.
Right.
You said it's an emotion.
Right.
And what students are feeling now is not,
Yes.
or what students are reporting they're feeling now.
Right.
You're saying is not even necessarily what they're feeling.
Yeah, that's the sad part, right?
Interesting
It's like,
and alarming.
right, yeah. It's like the technology is, in a way, coming between them and, I want to say, like the classroom community almost.
Yeah.
Like before people could really open up and you could really have a bond and almost trust with what people were saying. Now, with the AI, it's harder to do that.
So I know you do entire workshops, courses,
Yes.
probably soon degrees in this, but you've got like 45 seconds to answer this question.
Okay.
What's one thing a faculty member like you does to overcome that in a class?
Right. So one thing I try to do is I try to make the experiences in the classroom as important, like as meaningful as possible. I try to get students involved in groups. Now that it's kind of a struggle to get people into groups. I feel like between COVID and like a lot of this AI stuff, it's hard for people to make connections like they used to.
Yeah.
And I feel like to really make use of in-classroom time, I spend as much time as I can trying to break bridges between people. Because I know when I was in school, the experiences that I remember the most were when I was talking with friends about things that I was interested in. It wasn't about me taking a test, or it wasn't me about watching a lecture. It was about like the relationships I made. I try, especially now in the time of AI, I try to cultivate that as much as possible.
Okay. All right. Let me switch tracks a little bit.
All right.
A long time ago, I read
Yes.
Anthony Bourdain's autobiography, Kitchen Confidential. It's about his life as a chef.
Absolutely.
And he said the one thing
Yes.
that made the difference between professional chefs
Right.
and amateurs like me
Right.
is a really good kitchen knife,
Right.
a really high quality kitchen knife.
Right.
What is one thing a student who wants to be an amazing computer science professional like you needs? A skill, an object? What's one thing that's going to differentiate them from everybody else?
The one thing that's going to differentiate like a performer versus a super performer in computer science is a curiosity, an open mind for not just like the topics, but also getting an interest in what makes other people interested about the field. Because when you get more interested in what other people think is kind of cool, that kind of broadens your horizon and your imagination for what's possible within that space. And I think if you go to any of these top tier computer science companies, the thing you're going to see is you're going to see people that are genuinely curious in the work of others.
So a humanities major.
Right, almost right.
Well, I mean, but really, I mean, it's people, right? We're blending, and a curiosity about all sorts of different things makes a better fill in the blank, right?
Yes.
That's fantastic. All right. So somebody wants to learn more about computer science at Northern Essex Community College. What do they do?
I would say either get involved in a club that involves technology in some way, or take one of the computer science courses. Introduction to Computer Science, our low-level course, open to everyone, and it teaches you skills that are really valuable in any discipline. Even if you're a nursing student, even if you're a healthcare student, or even if you're uncertain about what you want to do, Intro to Computer Science can really not just give you the tools to succeed in computer science, but also give you a basic toolkit for understanding the world and understanding problems in the world.
You make it sound endlessly fascinating. Our students are so fortunate to have you in the classroom offering that perspective, Devan. So thank you. Thank you for being everything, everywhere, all at once, for all you do for our students and for all you do for the college community here at Northern Essex Community College.